Good afternoon. You are watching KBC Channel 1. It is that time where when we link up for live proceedings from the Senate. It is Wednesday, 24th day of July 2019, just a day after senators approved the division of a revenue bill, their version that approves the issuance of 335 billion shillings as equitable share for county governments. Currently, there is that stalemate between the Senate and the National Assembly over the exact amount that should be allocated to county governments. The National Assembly proposing an allocation of 316 billion shillings. That division of revenue bill, the National Assembly version, was introduced in the National Assembly yesterday afternoon, and that debate has been deferred to allow for the public to give their input as regards that matter. However, yesterday here in the Senate, their version was passed and duly forwarded to the National Assembly. Already, county governments are saying they are cash strapped. There is no money. The Council of Governors saying there is no money to pay salaries, at least for this month of July, and that is if this particular stalemate continues. Moving on, this afternoon, senators have a number of bills before them for deliberation. The Commission on Administrative Justice Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 6 of the year 2019. This one sponsored by Honorable Senator Petronila Were Locorio. And it seeks to provide for amendments to the Commission on Administrative Justice Act number 23 of 2011 and facilitate decentralization of the Office of the Commission on Administrative Justice. And it is one that seeks to make it possible to have satellite offices in all counties for the sole purpose of taking the services of the Ombudsman closer to the people, noting that that particular body has a crucial mandate as far as oversighting functions and the conduct of state affairs as regards to public administration by state organs or public or state officers is concerned. The National Museum and Heritage Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 7 of the year 2019, sponsored by Senator Dr. Alice Miligo, also lined up for debate. Discussions on this matter began on the 23rd of July 2019, which is yesterday, and this afternoon that particular debate will continue, after which senators shall be retreating into a committee of the whole to consider the local content bill, Senate Bill number 10 of the year 2018, and it seeks to provide a framework for development and adoption of local content through ownership, control, and financing of activities connected with exploitation of gas, oil, and other hydrocarbon resources by local persons and local enterprises. This draft piece of legislation is anchored on the premise that there is need to develop a local economies, there is need for industrial development stimulation, increase in local capability, the building of a skilled workforce, and of course creation of a competitive supplier base. The Honorable Senator Sylvia Kasanga also has her bill pending before the Committee of the Whole. It is the Mental Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 32 of the year 2018. This one seeks to ensure that the Kenya Mental Health Board, that is the membership, is all-inclusive and representative of county governments, that all counties are reflected in that membership. It seeks to impose and make it obligatory for county governments to take into account mental health services and make relevant provisions therein, and that includes taking care of treatment and the rehabilitation of persons with mental illness. And it is a bill anchored on Article 43 of the Constitution that guarantees every person the right to the highest attainable standard of health, which includes the right to healthcare services. And of course, noting that even though we have two levels of government, the national and the county governments, there is need that the matter of mental health is considered with the importance that it deserves. Other bills lined up for amendments in committees of the whole: the County Government Retirement Scheme Bill, National Assembly Bill number 10 of the year 2018, and the Natural Resources Benefit Sharing Bill, Senate Bill number 31 of the year 2018, same as the two election laws amendment bills, one by Honorable Senator Ledama Olekina and the other by Honorable Senator Dr. Agnes Zani. That, in addition to various statements, as well as a petition, or rather the response to a petition on the health services conditional grant to the county government of Uasin Gishu. A response via a report compiled by the Standing Committee on Health is expected to be delivered in the House this afternoon. A live broadcast brought to you by the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit in conjunction with the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Vareso Mwanga. The sign language interpreter is Michael Maithia. And on behalf of the entire crew, we welcome you to follow the proceedings. Good afternoon and enjoy.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor and blessings us, your servants whom you have been pleased to call to leadership positions in this republic. We seek guidance to treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberations in so just and faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of visiting students and teachers from Bungoma DEB Primary School, Bungoma County. As our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I wish them a fruitful visit. I thank you. Senator Agnes Zani.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I also join you in welcoming the young boys and girls today into the Senate and to wish them well and to inform them that at this point in their lives, they need to be really on their studies and, more important, think about the role that they want to play as patriots of this country. What do they want to do in the future and how do they plan to get there? Mr. Speaker, I'm happy they're here this afternoon to join us in Senate as we defend counties very vigorously from all aspects so that we ensure that counties grow. And as they grow too as young people, that they must have a vision and they must always keep this vision in mind and strive to achieve their vision. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Ochila Yako.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I want to join you and fellow senators in welcoming to Senate pupils and students from Bungoma County. Bungoma County is a very lovely county. They are represented in this August House by a very able and a senior member of Senate, Honorable Moses Wetangula. We were together with him this afternoon before the Energy Committee and also before the Agriculture Committee. He is happy that they are here, and on his behalf, I want to encourage you to enjoy your visit to Senate, learn how debate is carried out. What is important is negotiations and compromise, and agreeing to dialogue and not to fight. I hope you carry home that spirit of negotiations and compromise and dialogue as a hallmark of reaching consensus on issues that might affect you. Welcome again to the Senate.
Senator Wambua Enoch.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to also join you and my colleagues in welcoming students from Bungoma. As Speaker, I want to remind the visiting students that in this chamber, Bungoma is doing very, very well. We have the Speaker of the Senate, who comes from Bungoma, a very senior member, Senator Moses Wetangula, and just challenge them that going into the future, these good things and tidings that are coming from Bungoma should not break. They should also produce leaders in this country. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that these students have visited the Senate at a very good time, a time that both sides of the House are united in defense of devolution, because this is the House that debates issues touching on counties and the welfare of counties. As long as the Speaker, as they sit, I encourage them to be guided by the proceedings of this Senate and be inspired one day to join the Senate or other legislative arms of this government to push forward the agenda of devolution in this country. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Lagarde Christopher.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for also giving me this opportunity to join you in welcoming the pupils and the teachers from Bungoma County. I want to welcome them to the Senate. And as my colleagues have said, Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to remind them that the Speaker of this very important House, the only Speaker of the Senate in the Republic of Kenya, is Senator and former Governor of Bungoma, Ken Lusaka. This is a county that produces very great people, very brilliant people, and I want to encourage them that they should continue the same, so that when our term comes to an end, when we get old, Mr. Speaker, these are the people who will take over from us. And I want to encourage them that it is possible to become whatever they can imagine if only they work hard in school, maintain their discipline, and be focused. So I want to encourage them to learn more from the Senate, to learn our functions. One is the function of legislation. This is the House that makes laws that govern this country. This is the House also that takes care of the counties. We take oversight and we protect our counties. And in our counties are your schools. In our counties are your parents and yourselves. We promise as the Senate and myself being the Chair Education, Mr. Speaker, that we shall continue to stand with our children. We shall support them and protect them according to the laws of this country. So I wish them a good stay in the Senate and a happy time during this particular visit. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Ephraim Maina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand also to welcome these students from Bungoma. And for me personally, I have an attachment with Bungoma. I worked there. I built the sewage for Bungoma town. And therefore, I know the people are very hardworking, and I believe these children are likewise very hardworking. The children should be encouraged to feel that the Speaker of this House comes from Bungoma. The same place in Bungoma produced our Vice President, the late Honorable Amarwa, and therefore it is a place where these children should be aiming high. And I want to remind them that when one is young, they make their decisions. I may remind them that President Clinton actually made a decision to go to White House when he visited White House when President Kennedy was the president. And he has written that he made a decision and said he will work towards becoming the president of America. Therefore, I want to tell these children that as long as they work hard, as long as they keep God as their guide, as long as they listen to people whom they have been entrusted to listen to, like their parents and the teachers, they will go far, and they should just remain focused.
Senator Sakaja.
Mr. Speaker, allow me to welcome the students from Bungoma DB to Nairobi as the Senator of Nairobi. Mr. Speaker, they are very fortunate because in this House, Bungoma is overrepresented strongly by Senator number 1, who is Ken Lusaka, Governor Senator, and also one of the longest serving members of this House who came to Parliament in 1992, my distinguished uncle, Senator Moses Wetangula. I am encouraging them that their future is ahead of them. They can be whatever they put their mind to. Because yourself, Senator Wetangula, and many others, including us, serve as an example that in the Kenya of today, your future and your destiny does not matter. It does not depend on where you're from. It does not depend on your surname. It should not depend on your tribe. It will depend on the content of your character and what effort you put in school. And that is a Kenya indeed we want to build, one where a fair shot at life is a prerogative of all. So welcome, and I'm sure, Mr. Speaker, because of the heavy representation of Bungoma senators and friends of Bungoma, that they will receive a heavy lunch once they leave, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Boy Issa Juma.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kunipa fursa hii kuchangia pia na wenzangu maseneta kuwakaribisha wanafunzi kutoka Bungoma. Mimi sitakuwa mrefu sana, bali ni kuwahimiza wanafunzi kwamba kama mnavyojua elimu ni msingi wa maisha na elimu ndio ufunguo wa maisha. Mimi nawatakia kila laheri na muweze kufanya bidii kwa kusoma. Kama mnavyojua Bungoma kumetoka watu mashuhuri sana. Hata ni spika wetu alikuwa gavana wa kwanza huko Bungoma, ametoka Bungoma, na seneta wa hapa Bungoma ni seneta Wetangula ambaye ni seneta wa miaka mingi sana, ni mbunge wa miaka mingi sana, ametoka katika eneo la Bungoma. Kwa hivyo wanafunzi na wahitimu mfanye bidii na masomo yenu, mwatii walimu wenu, na kuna siku Mungu akipenda kwa uwezo wa Mwenyezi Mungu na nyinyi pia mtakuwa viongozi wa kesho. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika na nakukaribisha hapa.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions.
Yes, Chairman, Health Committee.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, Wednesday, 24th July 2019. The report of the Standing Committee on Health on the petition to the Senate on the Health Services Conditional Grant to the County Government of Uasin Gishu. Thank you.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Senator Abdullahi Ali. deferred. Senator Sakaja.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, Wednesday, the 24th July 2019. Report on the County Government's Retirement Scheme Bill 2018, National Assembly Bill number 10 of 2018. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Leader of Majority.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, Wednesday, 24th July 2019. Report of Auditor General on the financial statement of County Executive of Migori Loans and Mortgage Fund for the year ended 30th June 2018. Report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of Migori County Ward Development Fund for the year ended 30th June 2018. Report of Auditor General on the financial statement of Rukanga Water and Sanitation Company Limited, Kirinyaga County for the year ended 30th June 2018. Report of Auditor General on financial statement of Rukanga Water and Sanitation Company Limited, Kirinyaga for the year ended 30th June 2017. Report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of Rukanga Water Sanitation Company Limited, Kirinyaga County for the year ended 30th June 2016. Report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of Rukanga Water Sanitation Company Limited, Kirinyaga County for the year ended 30th June 2015. Report of Auditor General on the financial statement of Rukanga Water and Sanitation Company Limited.
Address this particular issue, Mr. Speaker. First, it will have to deal with the statistics, the current statistics, so that we may know how many lions currently are existing. It's also important that we get to know the real threat to these particular animals beyond the imagined less than 2,000. We should know the real threat to these particular animals so that it is addressed scientifically, this particular problem. It will also be very important to establish their current relationship with the human beings, because you find that I was lucky. We visited Taita Taveta, and we discovered that the greatest threat to the lions by then were human beings, because human conflicts is not addressed effectively. It is always to the disadvantage of the human beings and their property. And in Samburu, there is a health relationship, a very healthy relationship between these animals and the human beings. So I want to say, comparatively, the particular meeting, the committee that will address this one, should actually travel widely so that they may establish various strategies that various communities closer to these animals are using to conserve them. So I want to say that it is a very important statement, Mr. Speaker, knowing very well that conserving these particular animals will earn our country a lot of income, foreign exchange earner. So it is very important that we address with urgency, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Senator Bogisho.
Speaker, I think, let me just thank Honorable Dr. Alice Milgo for the statement she sought. I'm very sure, Mr. Speaker, that before she brought this particular statement, she did enough research. And that's why, as I was writing, Mr. Speaker, there was no need to be defensive about hunting going on in this country. There's no need to be defensive because, Mr. Speaker, if you own a private conservancy, you never know what you can do there. And so there are issues that they're raising in this statement that can be very relevant at this point in time. Speaker, all tourists who come to Nairobi would like to go back at least with a picture of a lion, a photo of a lion. They come and take pictures. In fact, if they go to a park and they find no lions, that's been a dry drive. and there's nothing. So it's very important to Kenyans, and that's why I think that when it comes to conserving, this question should be pursued to its logical conclusion. And I think, Mr. Speaker, if the committee that is charged with this responsibility can go deeper into the issues that are threat to the lion population. I don't need to be told that the lion is facing extinction. As I was growing up, Mr. Speaker, there were lions all over us in West Pokot and where I grew up in Kachaliba. Today, there's none. I can't find any. That means there is not, you don't need to be told. It's not rocket science. We just need to know what is going to happen. And so I'm hoping that the committee that is going to get to the bottom of it and we save the lion from extinction. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Ephraim Maina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to congratulate Senator Alice Mirigo for bringing up this statement. Because as we stand here, I want to caution this House that this is a house of reason. This is the house that must be seeing the graduate of this country that God left for us. And the wild animals are actually a very important thing to this country. And there's no doubt today. In fact, besides the lions.
Senator Chilayako, what is your intervention?
I hate to interrupt my chair, who is my very good friend, but would I be in order to ask him to inform the House positively, because he should declare his interest. He is a conserver of lions. He keeps a few, and that would be very positive as he encourages us to conserve, Mr. Speaker.
There's another intervention from Senator Kabaka. What's your?
What?
Maybe take your seat, Senator Ephraim. Take
Mr.
your
Speaker,
seat.
we are all supposed to be conservationists.
Order, Senator. Take your seat. There's another point of intervention. Then you respond to both of them. Senator Kabaka. Take your seat, Senator Nyeri.
Yeah?
You take your seat.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity. You've really reminded me the rules of ethics, because this Senate is the same as the High Court. And anytime a council, like Senior Council James Orengo is talking, another council is not supposed to be on his feet. I think the same applies here. But my point here is that my curiosity has been aroused by the opening statement by the distinguished senator of Nyeri, when he said, God left us with lions. I want him to explain, when did God visit and when did he leave us with the lions?
Senator Maina.
Mr. Speaker, in the history of our parliament, the alluring was made by none other than...
Senator Cherargei, what is your point of order?
Yes, I'm answering.
Order, there's another intervention from Senator Cherargei Nandi.
No, Mr. Speaker...
Order. I've given him an opportunity to...
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, would I be in order that I request we proceed with division now, because in the interest so that we can prosecute, and request later we go back to statements so that we finish, we dispense with the division, of course with your guidance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Okay, let the whips confirm the numbers as Senator Maina concludes. Conclude as they check the numbers.
Mr. Speaker, I hope I will have my ample time to make the contribution. Mr. Speaker, I was saying that this house is a house that should be protecting the nature of this country, the natural things that God left to us, and wild animals are a part of it. Mr. Speaker, besides lions, I'm saying most of our wild animals are today under threat. And Mr. Speaker, there is no doubt that, as the Honorable Senator has as requested in the statement, there should be measures. We want to see the measures that the committee will come up to ensure that the animals are protected. Mr. Speaker, the animals are a big source of income. The Mala Reserve is a big resource of the income. But is that income injected back into the reserve, into the conservation of animals, including trying to create the proper environment, trying to create the proper natural factors? Mr. Speaker.
Order, members, let's consult in low tones. Senator Omanga. Okay, proceed.
Mr. Speaker, yes, thank you. At least it's a relief. And Mr. Speaker, I want to support this statement and say that the committee must come up with a very clear indicators of what they expect KWS and the other bodies to do. Mr. Speaker, at one time, and this is what I was about to say, I was involved in a meeting with the Maasais, who are great conservationists, and we were opening a water project, and the water project was about pumping water from Aboseli National Park, right to the ranches where the Maasais are, and the Maasais were supposed not to come to the park. And when the Maasais lost to speak, they told the late Oloitip that we are not the threat to animals. The threat to the animals are the big people.
What is your point of order, Senator Sakaja?
In Nairobi.
What's your point of order, Senator Sakaja? Senator Nyeri, take your seat.
You have to sit. you can't move around. Mr. Speaker, in parliamentary rules, we refrain from referring to communities by name. You cannot say we called the Maasais, and when the Maasais came, you just talk about the local community. I just want, Mr. Speaker, for the record of the House, that the senator you direct as appropriate. So to just you refer to them generally, but you can't say the Somalis did this, the Kikuyus are doing this. It's completely unparliamentary. However, the contributions are very nice by Senator Maina.
Okay, Senators, you conclude so that we make progress. Observe the rules of the House.
Mr. Speaker, much as I appreciate the remark, I must say it is a known fact Maasais are conservationists. It's a known fact that most of the animals live in Maasai land. Therefore, I believe some of these points of order, Mr. Speaker, I think you need sometimes to protect the contributor, because they become sometimes unnecessary interruptions, Mr. Speaker. But having said that...
Conclude, Honorable Senator. Also conclude you are taking too long on one subject.
Yeah, because I don't know what the cause, whether it is inquisitiveness or smallness or might that makes these contributions become so excessive, Mr. Speaker. But they are appreciated. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, I want to say that this country should and must protect the wildlife that nature left for us. The turtles are dying in Malindi.
Order, members.
And all this. And Mr. Speaker,
order, members. Let's consult in no tones.
Unless, Mr. Speaker, something is done today, and this House is a house of reason, must rise to the occasion, we may have seen no wildlife tomorrow. Thank you.
Finally, Senator Gideon Kipsiele Moi.
Hello? Excuse me, and I'll be very brief, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support this statement by Senator Milko, but the 2 points I'd just like to put across. There are the conservancies which exist right now. Lewa Conservancy, Borana Conservancy, and there's another one, Solio. And they're doing some splendid job in conserving the wildlife, which is a heritage to ourselves and those who will come after us. But, Mr. Speaker, there is one issue which I think, as you seek this statement, is to find out what is it that we need to do, those who are neighboring these animals, to feel that they are benefiting from looking after these animals. There must be a correlation, Mr. Speaker, in that. So apart from that, I'd just like to say I thank you for bringing this statement. Asante.
Next statement. What's your point of order, Senator Fatuma?
Mr. Speaker, there is a lot that is out of order in this House, and which I believe I should bring to your attention and to the House. We are having challenges as leadership, especially in terms of ensuring that the order proper is followed. Mr. Speaker, we struggle, or members are struggling to make sure that their businesses appear on the order paper. But whenever we come to the House, we struggle looking for members to move their agendas. And it has become so difficult for us. We really need your direction. I thank you.
Yeah, it's true that there are senators who really put pressure that their matters be listed, but when it comes to moving, they disappear or they don't come to the House. I think we are going to come up with measures on which we shall take to ensure that if you are not there and you have been pushing for your matter, then we will defy it for a very long time, so that we give an opportunity to those who are around to be able to do that. Okay, order members. I would like to make a communication, Senator Nandi. Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of visiting teachers and students from Joram GM Academy School, Kajiado County. In our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, wish them a fruitful visit. I thank you. Next order.
Order number 8, the Commission on Administrative Justice Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 6 of 2019, second reading.
Okay, I order that the division bell be rung for 1 minute. I direct that the doors be closed and the bars drawn. Order, members. I now put the question, which is that the Commission on Administration Justice Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 6 of 2019, be read a second time. Okay, vote. You're already logged in. Vote, vote, vote. Assisted voters to come forward. Senator Wako, approach the clerks. Senator Wako. Okay, order members, order. The results of the voting are as follows. The ayes 25, the nays 0, abstention 0. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Commission on Administrative Justice Act and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 9, the National Museum and Heritage Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 7 of 2019, second reading.
Okay, I now put the question, which is that the National Museum and Heritage Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 7 of 2019, be read a second time. You can start voting. Yep. Senator Wako, approach the chair. Okay, order members, these are the results of the division. Ayes 25, the nays 0, abstention 0. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the National Museums and Heritage Act and for connecting purposes.
I now direct that the bars be drawn and the doors open. Next order. So we'll do order number 10 and 11 for now.
Order number 10, Committee of the Whole. The Local Content Bill, Senate Bills number 10 of 2018. Order number 11, Committee of the Whole. The Mental Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 32 of 2018.
Honorable Senators, we are proceeding on the Committee of the Whole on the Local Content Bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2018. And because we had already gone through all the clauses, we are going to proceed for division. I order that the bell be run for 1 minute. We close the... Honorable Order Senators. Order Senator Omanga. I now order that the bars be drawn and the doors be closed.
So we are proceeding to the first division. Closer to the amendments and therefore to the question.
Honorable Senators, we now proceed with the first division. Clauses with amendments. I put the question that clauses 3, 4, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 19, 22, 26, 27, 38, 42, 49, 50, 54, 57, clause 2, and the long title be amended as proposed. Please proceed to vote. They are not voting. 23. And there was 24. They were saying they're exactly 24. So we proceed to the next.
Wait for us to print the results and to confirm if there are any assisted voters. Print again.
Honorable Senators, we proceed to the second division, clauses without amendments. I put the question that clause 3 is amended, clause 4 is amended, clause 5 and 6, clause 7 is amended, clause 8 is amended, clause 9, clause 10 is amended, clause 11 is amended, clause 12 is amended, clause 13 to 18, clause 19 is amended, clause 20 and 21, clause 22 is amended, clauses 23 to 25, clause 26 is amended, 27, clause 27 is amended, clause 28 to 37, clause 38 is amended, clause 39 to 41, clause 42 is amended, clauses 43 to 48, clause 49 is amended, clause 50 is amended, clauses 51 to 53, clause 54 is amended, clauses 55 and 56, clause 57 is amended, clause 58, the schedule, clause 2 is amended, the long title is amended, and clause 1 be part of the bill. Please proceed to vote. That's all for this one, eh?
Yeah.
Senator for Wajir Ali Abdullahi. Senator for Kiambu, Senator Wamatangi. Senator Kirinyaga for Jerry. Senator Linturi for Meru. And Pogisho. Senator Pogisho and Senator Sakaja. Senator Langat. Senator Wario. Honorable Senators, the results for the first division, the yes 27, the nays 0, abstention 0, the ayes have it. Honorable Senators, the results for the second division. Order, Senators. Senator Gideon Moi. Order. The results for the second division, the ayes 29, the nays 0, abstention 0, the ayes have it. We'll now proceed to the next. Honorable Senators, we are now proceeding to the second bill, division on the Mental Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 32 of 2018. Honorable Senators, the first question closes with amendments. I put the question that clauses 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 17, 22, 25, 26, 28, 30, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, and clause 51 be amended as proposed. Honorable Senators, proceed to vote. Order, Senators, can we proceed? Honorable Senators, the second division closes without amendments. I put the question that clauses 2 as amended, 3 as amended, clause 4, clause 5 as amended, 6 as amended, 7 as amended, 8 as amended, 9 as amended, 10 as amended, 11, 12, 13 as amended, 14 as amended, 15 as amended, 16, 17 as amended, 18, 19, 20, 21, clause 22 as amended, 23, 24, clause 25 as amended, 26 as amended, 27, 28 as amended, 29, 30 as amended, 31, 32 as amended, 33 as amended, 34 as amended, 35 as amended, 36 as amended, 37 as amended, 38 as amended, 39 as amended, 40, 41, 42 as amended, 43 as amended, 44 as amended, 45 as amended, 46 as amended, 47 as amended, 48 as amended, 49, 50, 51 as amended, 52, the schedule, the title, and clause 1 be part of the bill. Proceed to vote. Kuna ingine? 27, kuna wengine wawili. Haya, sasa ni Honorable Senators, the results for the first division, the ayes 28, the nays 0, abstention 0, the ayes have it. Honorable Senators, the results for the second division, the ayes 28, the nays 0, abstention 0, the ayes have it. Honorable Senators, we are going to report progress on the local content bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2018. Mover.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the Senate its consideration of the local content bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2018, and its approval thereof with amendments.
I will put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the local content bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2018, and its approval thereof with amendments. As many as of that opinion say aye, as many of the contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it. Honorable Senators, reporting progress on the Mental Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 32 of 2018. Mover.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the Senate its consideration of the Mental Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 32 of 2019, and its approval thereof with amendments.
I will put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Mental Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 32 of 2019. It's with approval thereof with amendments. As many as of that opinion say aye. As many as of the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker.
Order, Senators, I direct that the bars be withdrawn and doors open. Order, Senators, we are going to have reporting by the committee regarding the local content bills, Senate Bill number 10 of 2018. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee on the said.
Order, Senator. Order. Resume your seat, Chairman. Chairperson, resume your seat. Later. Chairperson. Senator Moy, you are now what lawyers call functus officio. Senator Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole has considered the local content bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2018, and its approval thereof with amendments.
Mover, it's now your turn. You are trying to jump legislative protocol.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee on the said report.
We seconding. Order, Senator Moy, you need to be on record.
Senator Omanga will second.
Mr.
Order.
Speaker, I second.
Order, you have to be given the chance, Senator Omanga. Don't be too eager. And I assume your only business is to second. Senator Omanga.
Mr. Speaker, I second.
Order, Senators. I'll propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee on the said report. I'll put the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee on the said report. As many of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many of contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the local content bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2018, be now read a third time.
Very well. We pen that matter there. We shall be doing division on that item shortly, together with the next item. Oh, we need a secondment. Senator Omanga.
Mr. Speaker, I eagerly second.
Very well. Very well. Next item, let's have reporting on the Mental Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 32 of 2018. Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole has considered the Mental Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 32 of 2019, and its approval thereof with amendments.
Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee on the said report.
Who is seconding?
I request Senator Dr. Mbito to second.
Senator Doctor.
Senator Dr. Mbito.
Yes. You are now on record.
Trans
Senator
Nzoia.
Mbito.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I second.
I propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I'll put the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. As many of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many of contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Mental Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 32 of 2019, be now read a third time. I request Senator Dr. Mbito to second.
Senator Mbito.
Mr. Speaker, I second.
Very well. We will now move to division on both items, starting with the local content bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2018. Division bill. 1 minute. I hope the whips are satisfied with the attendance. Otherwise, division proceeds at your own peril. I now direct that the doors be locked and the bars drawn. Order, Senators, I will propose the question, which is that the local content bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2018, be now read a third time. I will put the question, which is that the local content bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2018, be now read a third time. Get ready to vote. It's time to vote now. Vote now. Order, Senator Omanga. You are not allowed to move during division. You're supposed to remain in your seat. And that is not your seat. Your seat is where you vote from. Very well. End of voting. Any assisted voters? Any assisted voters? Order, Senator Mazayo. What is it? What is it, Senator Mazayo? You are not on record, Senator Mazayo.
Shukran, Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, umeweka uamuzi hapa ukasema ya kwamba sheria
Order, Senator Linturi. The answer should be yes or no. It is alleged that you've been traveling about the chamber during division. Is that true?
But, Mr. Speaker, I say no, and this can even be confirmed from the answer, and if you are to refer to it.
Very well. Well, I will let the matter lie there with a general caution under what Article 117. That please note what the standing orders say about conduct of senators during division. 86.4. So I give that general caution to all the senators, including Senator Mithika Linturi. Very well. What is it, Senator Minor?
I rise because, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Linturi, Senator Linturi was not just moving aimlessly the way it's being put. He had gone to answer a call of nature.
Order. 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 How did you know?
Mr. Speaker,
How did you know, Senator Minor?
No,
How did you know the nature of the call that Senator Linturi had gone to make?
Mr. Speaker,
yes.
You know, some things are very easily derived from the way the action takes place. He took such a short time, and Mr. Speaker, he came back and sat down very lawfully to vote.
Order,
Therefore,
Senator.
Mr. Speaker,
Senator Minor, no, you have no capacity. There are two issues. You have no capacity to know what Senator Linturi was doing in the closet, if at all he was in the closet. Secondly, you are aggravating Senator Linturi's situation because he said he did not leave his chair. So I don't know whether you are for him or against him. and this matter.
But truly, a call of nature cannot be delayed.
Order. But Senator
or
Linturi,
suspended.
Senator Linturi said he never left his seat.
By that he meant only when nature ordered him to leave.
Order. I'm sure Senator Nturi, you don't want to say anything. Very well. Let's move to the next item, the Mental Health Amendment Bill. I'll propose the question, which is that the Mental Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 32 of 2019, be now read at that time. I'll put the question, which is that the Mental Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 32 of 2019, be now read a third time. Get ready to vote, senators. Vote now. Senator Wamatangi. $20 seconds left. Senator Dr. Ali, approach the chair. Order, senators, these are the results of the division. on the local content bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2018. Abstentions, 0. Nays, 0. Ayes, 28. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide for a framework to facilitate the local ownership, control, and financing of activities connected with the exploitation of gases, oil, and other petroleum resources, to provide a framework to increase the local value capture along the value chain in the exploration of gas, oil, and other petroleum resources, and for connected purposes.
Order, Senators. The following are the results of the division on the Mental Health Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 32 of 2019. Abstentions, 1. Nays, 0. Ayes, 28. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Mental Health Act and for connected purposes.
Very well. I now direct the doors be opened and the bars withdrawn. Order, Senators. Order, Senators. Order, Senators. Order, Senator Moy. I know you are happy that finally the local content bill has been transacted. Order, Senators, order, Senator Wambua. Order. Those who are retreating to do so quietly. Senator Kajwang. Order. Yes, and those who are retreating to do so quietly. Now we are going to reorganize the business of today as follows. I will I direct that the following items in the order paper be deferred. The first one is order number 12, order number 13, order number 14, order number 15, and all those are deferred on request by the sponsors for various reasons. And now I direct that the next order be called out. Next order.
Order number 16, the County Hall of Fame Bill, Senate Bills number 39 of 2018, second reading.
Senate Majority Leader. Where is the Senate Majority Leader? It's a no-show. Next order. Next order.
Order number 17, the Persons with Disabilities Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 1 of 2019, second reading.
Senator Aaron Cheruyot and Senator Isaac Maura. Next order.
Order number 18, the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 2 of 2019, second reading.
Senate Majority Leader. Now, yesterday I gave some directives about sponsors of business in this house. I direct the Sergeant at Arms to look for the Majority Leader to show cause why action should not be taken, or his representative. In the meantime, I will stand down order number 16. I will not defer, I will stand it down until I hear from the Majority Leader or his representative. Same applies to order number 17. I direct the Sergeant at Arms to look for Senator Aaron Cheruyot and Senator Isaac Maura. Order. Because this order paper is not just it's not just a paper, it's an order paper. So I'll stand down order number 16, order number 17, order number 18, until I hear from the sponsors of those businesses. Next order. Order. I will defer order number 19 on the request of the mover. I'll also defer order number 20. Next order.
Order number 21, motion. Adoption of the report of the Senate Sessional Committee on County Public Accounts and Investments on the fiduciary risk report on audit issues by county governments for the financial years 2012-2013 to 2015-2016.
Chairperson, Sessional Committee on County Public Accounts and Investments, Senator Moses Kajwang. What is it, Senator Sakaja?
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, just for purposes of the record of the House, order number 17 had been communicated. It came for public participation to my committee, and we agreed with Senator Aaron Cheriot and Senator Maura that it be dropped, and so they're not absent without cause. That communication was made as well to the Speaker. The bill is being republished under their names as well.
On
the Persons with Disability Amendment Bill of 2020.
Order number 17.
Order number 17, yes.
So that one is, there's some communication.
Yes. So they're
So
not
it's
absent
deferred.
without cause. Thank you.
It's deferred.
It's actually dropped.
Was it dropped earlier by order of the Speaker? Or you are dropping it from there? Give Senator Sakaja the mic.
Mr. Speaker, we had agreed that the bill be withdrawn. So it is erroneously appearing.
Who agreed with who?
As I said earlier, the sponsors and the committee, and the communication was made to the Speaker. Therefore, it is erroneously on the order paper. But the sponsors actually agreed to withdraw it, and we communicated as much. I'm just saying that for the record, so that it
Very well.
doesn't seem that
Very
they're
well.
absent
Noted.
or truant.
Noted. Meanwhile, 17 and 19, the other orders remain as are directed. Let's go to order number 21. Senator Kajwang.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move the motion that this House adopts the report of the Senate Sessional Committee on Accounts and Investments on the fiduciary risk report on audit issues by county governments for financial year 2012-2013, 2013-2014, and 2015-2016. Mr. Speaker, I also wish to inform the House that this particular report can be found on the online portal. It's called eParliament. It is a 78-page report, and previously we were used to getting hard copies of the report on the clerk's table. Mr. Speaker, I wish to inform members that they can peruse that report on the iPads before them. And of importance, I want to guide members that you probably might want to look at the introduction and also the observations and recommendations that are found on page 55 to page 66 at the end of the report. Mr. Speaker, and these are fiduciary risks that have been identified for all the
Senator
47
Kajwang,
counties.
did you move the motion? You haven't. And this is your second term.
Mr. Speaker,
Have you moved the motion?
it is listed as motion.
Order. You have to move.
Mr. Speaker,
you have to move.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move.
Read the motion and move. Order. Senator Kajwang.
Give me a call. Mr. Speaker.
Order, Senator Wetangulas.
Mr. Speaker,
you cannot conduct tutelage
I
from
actually
the
did
back
it.
bench.
I actually did it, but not with all the words that are there. Allow me to do it properly. Mr. Speaker,
Order, Senator Kajwang. Repeat the whole process.
Mr. Speaker, I
You
beg
have
to
to move the motion.
that the Senate adopts the report of the Senate Sessional Committee on Public Accounts and Investments on the Fiduciary Risk Report on Audit Issues by County Governments for financial years 2012-13 to 2015-16, laid on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, the 10th of July, 2019. Mr. Speaker, as I move the motion, I have indicated that this report is available on the online platform. And Mr. Speaker, because members are competent to read the report, I will only cover about 5 issues, and the other members of the committee will support me on the other issues. Mr. Speaker, in the past 5 years, the Office of the Auditor General has submitted to Parliament about 235 reports for county executives, 141 reports for county assemblies, and more than 1,000 county funds and corporation reports. In total, Mr. Speaker, the Auditor General has submitted more than 1,300 reports to this House. The Controller of Budget has also submitted 20 quarterly reports and 5 annual reports. And Mr. Speaker, I would like to take this opportunity to wish the Auditor General and Controller of Budget, who are in their sunset period, very well as they close their business. And I also wish to urge this House to seize the moment and call for fast-tracking of the process of replacing the Auditor General and Control of Budget, whose terms come to a close later in the month of August. Mr. Speaker, the 1,300 reports that have come to this House, very few have received the adoption or the full acceptance by the House, because various committees have been looking at them. Committees look at these reports individually, and as a result, they fail to see the forest for the trees. Mr. Speaker, the fiduciary risk report that we have laid on the table of the House puts into context all the risks that have been identified in counties relating to management of public funds. So the fiduciary risk report will not pick Nairobi County or will not pick Tharaka Nithi County, but it will look at all the issues that have been raised by the Auditor General. And we realize that some of the issues are cross-cutting. Mr. Speaker, fiduciary risk in our report has been defined as the probability that public funds are misapplied, or the extent to which public funds have been misapplied. And we as a committee have taken the position that a global view of county risks will help Senate to formulate national legislation and to come up with policies and regulations that can cut across all counties. Mr. Speaker, the Parliamentary Budget Office and our committee clerks analyzed the Auditor General reports for the financial years from 2013 to 2016 to establish cross-cutting issues. The risks that were identified were assessed, their impacts were analyzed, and recommendations have been made for their management. And if you look at our report from page 55, we've got a table there that, that identifies the risk and comes up with a recommendation. The committee retreated to write and adopt the report, and that report is what I will now take you through. And Mr. Speaker, I also wish to thank the officers in the Parliamentary Budget Office. In the United States, every legislative assembly has an Office of Legislative Audit. And this is a team of technicians that support the Public Accounts Committee. In the United Kingdom, from whom we borrow quite a number of our practice, we have the Financial Scrutiny Unit. That is also a team of analysts and professionals who do the hard work, the number crunching on behalf of the Public Accounts Committee, and then gives them a position that they can now share and converse with the witnesses that appear before them. It is our view, and we have expressed this in the past, that we either expand the mandate of Parliamentary Budget Office to cover parliamentary audit and scrutiny, or we establish another body that could be referred to as a Parliamentary Audit Office, a team of technicians and analysts that will support the work of the oversight committees of this House. Mr. Speaker, allow me to proceed and highlight some of the risks that have been identified in that report. Number one, in the first 3 years of devolution, generally counties were not complying with the laws. And the laws that were defiled included the PFM Act and the regulations, the County Government Act, the tax laws, the Public Procurement Act, and the Public Audit Act, not to mention the Constitution of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, I wish to bring to the attention of the House a situation that we will need to pronounce ourselves on and find a way of managing. Treasury has been in the habit of issuing circulars. Some of these circulars have the effect of reversing legislation. For example, Mr. Speaker, there is a circular in use by counties that allows them to put county funds in primary and secondary school infrastructure development. We all know that primary and secondary school infrastructure is a preserve of the national government. And that money trickles to the grassroots through the national government CDF fund. But still, counties are putting hundreds of millions of shillings in primary and secondary school infrastructure on the strength of a treasury that originated from treasury. It would be important as a house that we put down all the circulars that have been issued by relevant bodies, be it treasury, be it the Commission on Revenue Allocation, be it the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, and confirm that these circulars are not reversing statute and are not reversing regulations. And Mr. Speaker, we have also recommended that all county executives need to undertake some mandatory refresher training, because every other day this House is churning out legislation. And our experience as a Public Accounts Committee is that sometimes we find county executives being unaware of the laws that have been passed by Parliament and particularly by Senate. But also we need to review existing laws to assess their impact and relevance and undertake criminal proceedings for lawbreakers. Mr. Speaker, another example of a case that we have looked at where there is an inconsistency with the law is the circular by the SRC limiting the capacity of vehicles
where their county stands. In 2014-2015, Madam Speaker, 25 counties received a disclaimer of opinion. In 2014-2015, that number only went down by 3 counties, and 22 counties received the same disclaimer of opinion, which means a lot of counties lost money. Number 2, a lot of counties accumulated a lot of debt, which now the Auditor General is questioning. Madam Speaker, when you look at most of these counties, they deducted the statutory deductions from the employees, but they never remitted this money to the KRA, violating another piece of legislation, which is the Kenya Revenue Act. Madam Speaker, my chair had dealt into various recommendations and different observations that we observed when we were looking at these reports. So I want to limit my submissions to only the way forward. Madam Speaker, as we look at this, we cannot only say we are condemning the county governments for having floated all these pieces of legislation. I think it's a high time that this House now come up with a program that try to build the capacity of the staff in these counties. We have seen the Auditor General changing and really working with these counties, and this year, Madam Speaker, you'll find that a lot of counties have received qualified opinion, while some of them have received unqualified opinion. But this does not eliminate the risk which is involved in all these funds management in the counties. It is important that the Auditor General himself comes up with the different types of audit so that when the county government are spending this money, they don't not only have to perfect the act of putting together the documentation or ensuring that they go through the audit process properly, but ensuring that the little resources that they are receiving, they can continue to improve the service delivery. One of the biggest problems that we noted, Madam Speaker, is that a lot of these counties were carrying out functions which are designated to the national government. When they do this, you realize that a lot of services that are supposed to be delivered to the people, specific services like healthcare, lose out a lot. Because when you see counties building high schools, when you see counties, spending their money in projects that are supposed to be carried out by the national government, the health sector loses, ECD loses. So, Madam Speaker, in conclusion, I would like to encourage and plead with all the members of the Senate to take time and really and see where the counties are losing out. Because, Madam Speaker, if this House now approves the Commission of Revenue Allocation proposal on the third generation formula, a lot of counties will lose out. Because if counties are not able to increase on their own source revenue, if counties are not able to set up the internal audit committees, or even the budget implementation forums, then most of these counties will lose out. So, Madam Speaker, I would really plead with my colleagues to take time and look at this report, and then also look for time to address the assemblies and talk to the assemblies and say, these are the issues that we've found out. These are the risks which will continue putting the county down, which will continue abetting corruption, and this is how we need to be able to resolve them. So finally, Madam Speaker, as I support or I second the motion, I want to end by stating that unless we in this House expedite the analysis, or rather expedite the process of considering these reports, we will not be doing our counties any service. And I hope that next time, when we have such a serious report, the House will be full so that senators can be able to poke holes on the work that the County Public Account and Investment Committee is doing, and also contribute so that we can be able to better our people. We don't call governors so that we can be able to have, sort of like a show of supremacy. We engage them in conversations to show them how they can be able to improve service delivery to the people that we represent or they represent, and also to ensure that we can be able to really build devolution in this country. So, Madam Speaker, with those few remarks, I beg to second.
Honorable Senators, I now propose the question that the Senate adopts the report of the Senate Sessional Committee on Public Accounts and Investments on the fiduciary risk report on audit issues by county governments for financial years 2012-2013 to 2015-2016, laid on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 10th July 2019. Senator Kasanga Silva Mweni.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to add my voice to the fiduciary risk report. I want to thank the committee headed by Senator Kajwang for the comprehensive summary that he has done. I have perused the report, indeed very technical, Madam Speaker, and I hope that I can, of course, speak on it with its technicality, but I'll only approach three areas which I would say I can speak upon with some semblance of authority. And the first is the misrepresentation of the county revenues. Madam Speaker, it has been said here that the on-source revenue that is currently being collected is 10% and below. And we cannot understate the fact that counties have a lot of potential to collect a lot of revenue if they're a little bit more organized. In fact, looking at the part 2 of the Constitution and the functions and powers of the counties, you can see the areas listed there. And I am particularly drawn to the cultural activities and the public entertainment and public amenities that are listed there. And you can see the potential that these county governments could have if they put their house in order. I see areas where a lot of young people can get opportunities to express themselves and in the process also create more revenue. And besides that, Madam Speaker, I see that the recommendation given by the committee that there's need for proper collection and reporting and using of digital platforms. We can't understate that digital platforms today are the best ways of being able to map out and to record and to keep and to store. And Madam Speaker, this is a situation that we need to really insist upon that the counties need to do. One day here, I think we were speaking on some areas where we felt that the county governments need to improve. And I was looking at the liquor licensing, for instance, and we know a lot of county governments now are collecting a lot of revenue from liquor licensing. And the question is, how are these funds accounted for? And we can see areas where they can be used to enhance the livelihoods of Kenyans in the counties. For instance, these funds could be used to to help with sensitization of the use and abuse of drugs or rehabilitation centers for Kenyans, and to run sensitization programs within schools. I mean, there are many areas where these funds could be directed to, and it is unfortunate that we are seeing an underutilization of this, and of course the under-reporting of the same. Madam Speaker, I could speak also on the failure to establish internal audit committees, and that is in line with the PFM regulations, and in particular Regulation 167. And I would say that this is obviously a clear negligence on the county officers who are mandated to put this into operationalization. And they should be charged for it, Madam Speaker, because this is pure, we can see why they are not getting it done. This is where funds get stolen. This is where the loopholes then come in. And we can see how our monies get lost, Madam Speaker. This failure is deliberate, and it must be dealt with the hands of the law. We need all our monies properly accounted for, Madam Speaker. Internal audit committees are also necessary. I mean, you can't run business. Any successful business, we know, has to have some internal mechanism of self-auditing to check on financial operations and to map out risk areas. And without these, you even wonder then how are they running the operations down at the counties, Madam Speaker. So I would say we should call for a few CCs here to come and answer in a court of law or similar as to why they haven't operationalized these committees, Madam Speaker. Lastly, Madam Speaker, I want to speak on the incomplete and unutilized projects. We know very well that projects, when they are properly conceived, failure to plan is just planning to fail, Madam Speaker. And I have had experience with this in the counties, where you find that poor conceptualization of projects, as well as poor implementation of well-intended projects, causes a lot of money to be lost, Madam Speaker. From a construction point of view, the process of conceptualizing a project and implementing is very, very obvious, is very clear, Madam Speaker, and there's nothing more to it. But you find that a lot of the counties do not want to engage in professionalism. They find that professionals are expensive. And Madam Speaker, I can tell you without a doubt that this is not true. I've had engagements where I tell members in the county that an architect is not expensive. In fact, you stand to lose more when you don't involve one in your planning process. And you need these professionals to help you with the planning, the budgeting of certain projects, the running of those projects, oversight of those projects. When it comes to certification, checking on variations and all those things, you need professionals to do that, Madam Speaker. And I know a lot of counties are having a challenge having these professionals in place, and we have to find a way of encouraging them to invest in professionalism. Madam Speaker, this House, one time we passed a motion. We passed a motion that the National Construction Authority needed to weed out a lot of the rogue contractors or blacklisted contractors. We know this is a problem in the counties where contractors who haven't even finished their projects are still awarded more projects through cronyism or whatever else you can call it, Madam Speaker, but it is wrong that somebody should receive a new project when they haven't finished a previous one, Madam Speaker. And this is what we are saying. That motion to this day has never been responded to, which is very unfortunate, because we should have a full re-registration of contractors so that we can weed out anybody who has not performed their duty. It is not difficult, Madam Speaker, to do analysis and audits on projects. It's very easy to go to a project and find out why this one is not complete. Why was the certificate not raised, or why was it raised with so many variations? Those are easy things, Madam Speaker, to do. And I would call for a relook at how the registration of contractors is being done. We know very well in this country anybody can become a contractor, and therein lies the problem. Anyone can become a contractor. You just go and get a fellow contractor or somebody, and you register a quick company, and you run and you get a tender. And Madam Speaker, these are the practices that we are saying that need to stop. And these are happening so much in the counties. This is a problem we have with the incomplete and unutilized projects, and these risks need to be mitigated at a very early on stage. Madam Speaker, I want to congratulate the committee, and I thank you so much for allowing me to contribute to the report, and I support it. Thank you.
Senator Orengo James.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to support this report, the fiduciary risk report. And Madam Speaker, I commend the committee for coming up with this report and the hard work that is being undertaken by this committee generally. I think in terms of performance, no one can doubt the good work that this committee is doing constantly. Yeah, I think it's the committee that has the most regular meetings.
Senator Ochilo Ayako, you have a point of order?
Madam Speaker, I don't mean to interrupt my leader. Just wanted to draw your attention to the fact that there was a loud consultation next to me, and I was missing on very invaluable input from my leader. If you can save us from that loud consultation.
That is noted. Senator Langat, order Senator Langat, Senator Kajwang, and Senator Kasanga.
I thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank Senator Ochilo Ayako for protecting me. Now, Madam Speaker, I was commending this committee for the work it is doing. And I think in the history of the Senate, this is one of the best committees in terms of the county public accounts and investments committees that we have had over time. And I hope they will continue in rendering this kind of work to the Senate. Secondly, Madam Speaker, before I comment on the report, I also want to thank the Auditor General for the work he has done over the years, because as a Senate or as Parliament, we really depend on the Auditor General's report in doing oversight work, and particularly in considering reports that are annually or regularly given to the House by the Auditor General. I think the current Auditor General, in terms of comparison with other Auditor Generals we have had over the years, he has done a magnificent job. The only other Auditor General who can compare with him, but whom I think he surpasses, was the first Auditor and Controller General. I think it was a Mr. Njoroge, who was the first African, a Kenyan, indigenous Kenyan, to occupy the office. Indeed, I dare say that had we listened to the Auditor General, right from the time he began his work, the current war against corruption would have been most successfully fought, because year after year, reports came from his office, and the reaction was an attempt to curtail his powers. Amendments were brought to Parliament to try and interfere with the independence of that office, but he was up to the job. There were times when both the executive and elements in Parliament were not quite happy with him, because some people thought that what he was doing was to embarrass the government. But I can tell you, it is the job of Auditor Generals not to carry a story that can excite any government in power. And I think Eddie Uko has a good track record. When he was in Abidjan working for the African Development Bank, he left a very good record, and now yet another sterling work that he has done. The Auditor General is normally an agent of Parliament, and we should see him or her in that light, that in carrying out the oversight work and also in carrying out the work of the Parliament under the principle of no taxation without representation, the work of that office is crucial to Parliament. Other than legislation, the most important pillar of Parliament, rather than the overall oversight, is the work we do in managing the finances of the Republic of Kenya both in terms of revenue and expenditure. And Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, the our committee, County Public Accounts and Investments Committee, have come with this tool, a report on fiduciary risk, because we are used just to be looking at the reports, particularly in the Senate, we are looking at the reports in regard to individual counties, but to have an overall look at the performance of all the counties from the point of view of risks, which if you read the Public Finance Management Act together with the regulations and made thereunder, is an important component of managing the financial sector. So, Madam Speaker, I want to support this report and say the following, that the most important thing that must be done by entities which manage public finance or control public finance is to obey the law as established, beginning with the Constitution. And in the executive summary, the committee has set out the most important pieces of legislation in regard to management of public finance, beginning with the Constitution itself, the Public Finance Management Act, the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act, and of course they have referred to the regulations made under the Public Finance Management Act, the County Government Act, the Public Audit Act, and for purposes which are understandable, the Income Tax Act. But I think the statutes that are mentioned, excluding the Income Tax Act, are really the basic law as far as the management of public finance is concerned. Now, the other important point to make is that both public procurement and management of public finance, revenue and expenditure is underpinned in the Constitution. I think that cannot be taken idly, because it's important that the Constitution, learning from the past, had to underpin certain aspects of public finance management to be guided by the Constitution, and also the issues of public procurement and asset disposal. I think the other important issue that again was constitutionalized more prominently compared to the last constitution is the issue of public debt. So if you look at the whole process of raising revenue as set out in these statutes that the committee has set out, and the whole process of planning, because every county is required to have a 5-year plan on which all development is based on, and revenue directed in accordance with those county plans. Then the whole issue of budget processing, budget making, the whole issue of appropriation, because appropriation is not just done at the national level through parliament, but also at the county assemblies, the process of appreciation, appropriation. And then the whole question of expenditure, incurring expenditure, that before a county can incur expenditure, there must have been a plan, a program, based on a 5-year plan, and that before you can spend, there must have been a budgeting, and therefore it means that there's revenue available which can be located in the budget under particular categories of vote heads, and that before expenditure, there must be authority, which in order to give that authority, or before the authority is given, there must be supporting documents which will ensure that all these processes have been undertaken. If only this can be done, if only the law as it is followed, because a lot of times you look at what the counties are doing, they turn the law upside down. And I think Senator Kajan referred to it, even on the issue of public participation. It's a process which is turned upside down. We have professional, persons who participate in meetings which are christened public participation, but they're actually mercenaries that the county government relies on to override that hurdle to make sure that the issue of public participation is attained. And then you find that even in the budget making process, because budgets emanate from the executive, as opposed to, we like talking about, that in this constitution, really the budget making and the pass is in the hands of the legislature, both at the national and the county level. But I think this has to be looked at again, because the Constitution and the Public Finance Management Act require the origination of budget making to come from the executive, from the national level, from the treasury, and the county assembly, at the county level, the budget making process originates from the county treasuries. And therefore, whenever this process begins, Parliament is given already something that has already been done, and you are just supposed to endorse it with minor amendments. And that being the case, it's then very difficult to manage a person who has prepared the budget himself and at the same time has ensured that that budget is passed as is, and then at the end of the day, you are required to do oversight at the level at which you pretend to be controlling the pass. So I think we need to come out with new tools. And of course, there's one of the tools that are not used effectively, the tool of internal audit. There's risk management under the office of an internal auditor in every county, that before any expenditure is made is subjected to that internal audit, which is an independent office, quite apart from the treasury. And that internal audit is required that both before, during, and after, the issue of risk management is at the fore, is placed at the fore. So sometimes you wonder how a county can end up spending colossal sums of money, and the legal mechanism and the law put in place is so tight, and there's accountability at every stage. Madam Speaker, this is one of the things that if you can manage very well, then the current levels of corruption that we are witnessing in the country, we will never get there. We'll never get there. And I believe that, this war against corruption will never be won if all that we are hoping is that we're going to catch the thief and punish the thief. But we need to build walls that no thief can go across. This is why we have this kind of laws. But in the country now, the emphasis is on catching the thief. And I can tell you the thieves that are being caught are just 1% or 2% of the thieves who are really robbing the national treasury and the county treasuries. If you go to the counties, and as we fight for governors and the county governments, and I think the Senate is doing something very, very, very noble, that we want resources to do the counties, as it must if devolution has to succeed. And yet, if you find the way some of the governors are managing counties, despite these laws, it is like somebody running his homestead. Even a homestead, if you want it to be run on a sound basis, you would have some internal rules and regulations. But, Madam Speaker, if you go to the offices of many governors, you'll find some of them with 2,000 files, and those 2,000 files will be about procurement, because no procurement can be done successfully without a governor putting his hand on it. They are not required to take part in procurement. That is the law. And yet you find that if you want a road built anywhere, the governor would be the one now to decide who gets the contract for that road. He can distribute it, in any way he likes. Now, and that is happening every day in every county in this country, as we respect governors. But the law is not supposed to work, that way. Democracies that work and economies that succeed, these laws are critical. And I hope the committee, if, as I know, we are going to pass this motion, I think this report should be made available to every county. And if there can be some engagement with the counties, particularly with the treasuries in the counties, and more particularly our engagement with the governors and the the Council of Governors. I think Chairman Senator Kajwang, we should try and look for a meeting where we discuss this report with the governors, because it may be just one of those reports that we throw into the shelf. Is work already done? We passed it. It has no legal basis upon which it can be complied with. So the first point of my discourse in this matter is obedience to the laws that are in place. And we have made these laws very complicated. In earlier times, the government financial regulations were not as complicated. In the first 10 years of independence, before we knew how to steal, government property and all that, including cash, people were working with regulations which were basic. And the kind of loss and embezzlement that is going on were never found. The proportions were not as alarming as they are today. So, Madam Speaker, I hope that this report will be discussed with the Council of Governors to see, where they can pull up their socks to make their work more effective and more accountable to the people of this country. And of course, on the question of the assets, if we don't talk about liabilities, liabilities you can only know about it because debtors, creditors will not allow you to be in peace. But the component of assets, you'll find that in a lot of counties, yes, it is true, as this report bears out, that there's no register of assets. They don't know what belongs to the county, beginning even from the basic, the land that are owned by counties. And the Constitution has categorized public land in two basic categories. Public land which belongs to the national government and those that belong to county governments or are managed on behalf of the people by the National Land Commission, but really held in trust by the counties. You'll find that most counties do not have a register of even pieces of land that belong to the county. And I think that's an important question for consideration. And the other thing which when I was looking at the regulation, which is very important, and the committee has talked about the fact that there are no audit committees. The regulations require that we should have audit committees. Audit committees. These audit committees are very important. I came to this I came across this when I was looking at the regulations some time ago, and I was asking myself the question whether indeed these audit committees exist. And here it is in this report that these audit committees have not been established by most counties. And they're supposed to be independent committees, which should be presided over by men and women who would know what they're doing. And in fact, when there is trouble, we would be able to see them or notice them in advance before the Auditor General is seized of it. And then the adverse opinions that the counties have been getting from the Auditor General, that is noted in the financial years 2014, 2015, and 2015-2016. And if what is contained in the report is anything to go by, instead of those adverse opinion or reports coming from the Auditor General going down, it looks like, they are going to increase year by year, which again is a confirmation that, we are not doing things, the right way. I want to conclude by saying that, unless counties wake up and do their work, fighting for more resources for counties is going to be very difficult. In fact, I was having a discussion with, we were sitting here out there with Madam Speaker and Senator Olekina, and one of the prominent members of the National Assembly was passing and was trying to remind us that we should be caring more about the money that counties have been given which they have not received, instead of talking about the increase in revenue allocations to counties as a share of revenue raised nationally. And of course, he was making a point, but I think the fundamental point for us is to take more resources to the counties, but that is not going to happen if the counties do not perform and perform in a manner that would not embarrass county and county governments and its people, but more importantly, embarrass the House of Parliament, which is fighting for counties day and night, and that's the Senate. Madam Speaker, I think at the end of the day, the whole issue about leadership, and this is what I wanted to really end up by saying, the way we counties are run and how our governors want to behave, they want to be like monarchical institutions. Sometimes you go to a public meeting and there is a public address system, and you speak to that public address system. When the governor comes, he's got his own public address system. Yeah. This is and a podium. This is backwardness. This is foolishness. Even President of the United States of America, if you are sharing a platform and he's got his platform there, you use the platform that is available. And I've seen, even if you see President Trump meeting people, ordinary people, he will not be sitting in a seat like a throne. They share the seats in the room. So, we are building an image of governors and presidents which are monarchical. They are not governments of the people, for the people, by the people. And this habit really must change. One of the most wonderful things that I've seen in my life, one day when I was a young man, I was traveling from Arusha to Nairobi. And I went into a plane, and that plane had no first class or business class at the time. And when we sat in the plane, the former Prime Minister of Sweden I think there has been no better known prime minister in Sweden who is more responsible for what Sweden is now and what is known for than Olof Palme. And he sat in that plane on the front seat with 4 people, and he was brought into the plane with another simple man called Julius Nyerere. And I couldn't believe it. So there are things that we're doing which is an exhibition of the kind of leadership, whether it is monarchical or a democratically elected government by the people, for the people, by the people. So some of this, excesses by the county government, the way they carry themselves, willy-nilly pushes you to profligacy. You want to do things in a big way. Everything you must do in a big way. And that's why they have to eat into public funds to build, earthly empires. And this kind of behavior is both at the county and the national level. And it's my hope that one day Kenya will believe in servant leadership, where leaders are simple men and women who are accessible to the people. So really, what President Abraham Lincoln talked about, government of the people, by the people, for the people, becomes a reality. I thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank the committee again for the work. Well done.
I note that there is so much interest, of course, this being a very important matter, but I reduce the time to 10 minutes for the debate, looking at the time that we have. So I call upon Senator Munyihaji Mohamed Faki.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuchangia azimio hili la kupitishwa kwa ripoti ya hatari za kimaadili kwa miaka 2013-14, 2014-15 na 2015-16. Mheshimiwa Spika, ripoti hii imekuja katika wakati ambapo kuna mvutano baina ya bunge la Senate na bunge la kitaifa kuhusiana ni pesa ngapi ambazo zinafaa kupelekwa katika serikali zetu za county. Kwa hivyo ni fursa nzuri kwa bunge hili kuangalia zile hatari za kimaadili ambazo ziko katika county zetu, ili kuweza kuangalia ni njia gani ambayo tutaweza kuboresha utendakazi wa county na kuhakikisha kwamba wananchi wanapata faida ya kaunti hizo. Mheshimiwa Spika, kamati ya uhasibu na ukaguzi ya Senate imewahi kuangalia ripoti 235 za mabunge za serikali za kaunti. Mheshimiwa Spika, namsaidia mwenyekiti wa kamati hii na yeye hasikizi yale ninayozungumza.
Order, Senator Kajwang and Minority Leader.
Kwa Mheshimiwa Spika, kamati hii ya uhasibu ya Senate imewahi kuchunguza ripoti 235 za serikali za county, ripoti 141 za mabunge ya county.
Senator, order, Senator Faki, Senator Madzayo. What is your point of order?
I don't understand whether, I don't know whether you have heard what my brother Mohamed Faki has said. He referred to you as Mr. Speaker. I don't know whether you heard about that, but wewe ni be speaker.
Sorry, I didn't hear that, so Senator Faki, kindly proceed.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, nimesema Mheshimiwa Speaker, sikusema bwana Speaker ama Mr. Speaker. Samahani Mheshimiwa Mazayo. Mheshimiwa Speaker, tumeweza kuchunguza kama kamati ya uhasibu na ukaguzi ripoti 235 za serikali za county, ripoti 141 za mabunge ya county na zaidi ya ripoti 1000 za hazina tofauti tofauti za serikali za kaunti pamoja na mashirika ya kaunti kama vile mashirika ya maji. Mheshimiwa Spika, kamati pia ilichunguza hatari zote za kimaadili ambazo zinazikumba kaunti zetu ili kuangalia ni njia gani ambavyo tunaweza kuboresha utendakazi wa serikali za kaunti na mabunge yake. Mheshimiwa Spika, hatari hizi zinaathiri pakubwa serikali za kaunti pamoja na mashirika ambayo yako chini ya kaunti hizo. Mheshimiwa Spika, hatari za kimaadili zinazo pia hatarisha huduma kwa kaunti hizo, na ina maana kwamba iwapo hazitachunguzwa na kutatuliwa, bunge la seneti litakuwa linapata shida kubwa katika kuangalia ripoti za ukaguzi na hesabu za serikali ya kaunti, kuhakikisha kwamba usimamizi wa fedha unazingatia sheria na mwongozo ambao umewekwa. Baadhi ya hatari hizo mbalimbali ambazo tuliziweza kuziona, Mheshimiwa Spika, mbali na zile ambazo mwenyekiti wangu amezungumzia, ni kwamba kwanza kuna utoaji wa zabuni ambao haufuati sheria. Zabuni nyingi zinatolewa kwa marafiki wa magavana na viongozi wengine wa kaunti, hivyo basi ina maana kwamba kazi hazitendwi kulingana na vile inavyotakikana. Mheshimiwa Spika, katika kutoa zabuni kinyume na sheria, hapo tunapata miradi ghushi ambayo inatungwa na kulipiwa pesa bila kutekelezwa na wanazabuni hao. Mheshimiwa Spika, pia vile vile katika awamu hiyo ni kuwa kuna miradi ambayo inachukua miaka na vikaka kutekelezwa, na hivyo ina maana kwamba wananchi hawapati ile tunaita utendakazi mzuri wa rasilimali ambazo zinatumika. Kwa mfano, katika kaunti ya Kwale, Mheshimiwa Spika, kuna stadium ambayo inajengwa sasa karibu miaka 6 na haimaliziki, na hivyo ina maana kwamba wananchi katika eneo hili hawezi kupata michezo ya kimataifa kuchezwa katika kaunti yao kwa sababu hakuna kiwanja kinachofaa kuendesha michezo kama hiyo. Mheshimiwa Spika, jambo la pili ni kwamba ushiriki wa umma, yani public participation, pia imekuwa ni kizungumkuti katika kaunti hizi. Utapata kwamba ushiriki wa umma unafanywa kiasi ambacho aidha marafiki wa wapambe wa magavana ama wabunge wa mabunge ya makaunti ama marafiki wa wale mawaziri katika serikali za kaunti ndio wanaitwa katika mikutano ya ushirikishi wa wananchi. Hivyo maana ina maana kwamba wananchi hawezi kujua ile miradi ambayo inakusudiwa kufanya katika maeneo yao, na vile vile hawezi kukosoa yale makosa ambayo yanatokea katika mikutano au katika miradi ambayo inafanywa na kaunti zile. Mheshimiwa Spika, pia kuna upungufu katika udhibiti wa ndani, yani ile tunaita kwa Kiingereza internal controls. Tumeelezewa kwamba kaunti nyingi hazina kamati za ukaguzi na uhasibu. Tunaambia pia Mheshimiwa Spika, kaunti nyingi pia hazina zile tunazoita vidhibiti ambavyo vinaweza kufuatiliwa kulingana na sheria, kuhakikisha kwamba fedha za umma hazifujwi ovyo ovyo. Mheshimiwa Spika, pia tunasema kwamba kuna udhaifu katika rasilimali ya binadamu, yani human resource kwa Kiingereza. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwanza utapata kwamba katika kaunti nyingi uajiri wa